Hello, thank you for joining me today. Okay, so today I'm going to be walking you through how I do my virtual walkthroughs. So, in case you don't know me, my name is Twee. I am a real estate investor. I live in California and I invest primarily in Indiana, which is like 2,000 plus miles away from where I live. Fun fact, I've never actually been to Indiana before. So, how a big question that I get very often is how in the world do I well, why do I do it? But another question is like, how do I manage a property? Like, how do I rehab these properties without actually going to the house, without being there, without just doing? How do I do it remotely, basically? So I've got a couple of projects going on right now, and I'm in the process of just of where I've got a couple of different rehabs in different phases right now. So figured this would be a good video for me to walk you through as far as, what my process looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share. And bear with me because this is my first time ever doing anything like this. Okay, so first thing that I do, or before I screen share it, let me go to, so the process that I do is, I'll typically talk to a seller, ask about the condition of the house, understand why it is that they want to sell, et cetera. And then, they'll typically share with me what to the best of their knowledge. And then I'll have someone from my team go out and do a walkthrough. So they'll take photos, they'll, potentially do video so that I can have a more complete picture, because sometimes they might forget to tell me about, like a leak that was under the sink, or they might forget about the mold that's in the bathroom because they're just so used to living there with that. Or, they're just different things that may or may not come up. So I have somebody from my team go out and take photos, and this is what it will typically look like. Share. So, the property that I'm sharing in particular, this one happened to have photos on Zillow from when it was last listed. So backtrack a second. So this particular house that I'm going to be sharing, what they had was the seller decided that she wanted to sell because she just had too many other things going on. They actually were also remote investors. So they lived out of state. They had actually come to Indiana to rehab, but then they decided that they had too many other properties. They just had too many things going on and they didn't want to, they were over it. So, these are the houses, or these are the pictures from when they bought it. It's got hardwood floors. The paint looks pretty good. Hardwood floors look like they could use some love. It's a single family that was set up as a duplex. So you've got the plumbing for washer dryer. You can see that there's a kitchen right here. It's got just basic vinyl flooring in there, like shop lights, that type of thing. You can see there's a door. This is where the second unit enters. This is the bedroom. It looks like it's got some LVP in there. I don't think that's vinyl. And then it's got like the ceiling tiles that are in there. And then you can kind of tell it's got you can see by the lines right there how it's got paneling. So it's not drywall in that particular room, but it looks like, they have the paint tape up from when they recently painted it. The ceiling, they've got not recessed lights, but they've got the attached lights on there. The bathroom, looks outdated, but it looks like it's in decent shape. It's got the vinyl, nothing gross that jumps out at me. Cabinets look, I don't know why this is the door for the closet here. Looks like the washer dryer hookup is in the bathroom for this particular one. So this is where the carpet could use some love, the flooring, there's half paneling, looks like it's drywall up here, half paneling, full paneling here. And it looks like they didn't really get to doing this part of the house, but you can see how the door has some damage there. And it's got gold hardware as well. This room looks like it's got recessed lights, or at least, well, this room has recessed lights, but it looks like it's got some hardwoods here, half paneling, half drywall, closet. So this is like the second living area for the back unit of things. And then this is the second kitchen, because again, they made the duplex. This is the door where that entrance was. And they, again, these are older cabinets. So we're looking at it here. Just look through the pictures. This room has hardwood floors. It's got the paneling, it's got ceiling fan, etc. So, the house is a fixer, like based on the pictures. It doesn't look like it needs a ton, like just some refresh from what I'd consider, right? Like is that dirt? Is that mold? Kind of hard to tell from the picture, right? It's got like the pink tile on the wall. It got more hardwood floors here. Looks like they did paint in this room. Didn't clean up after they painted. That's okay. And, like the exterior looks like it could use some love. It looks like it's got some damage under the carport area. The paint's peeling. And again, could use some TLC. The tool shed has a lean to it. That door looks like it's seen better days. Same with the gate. So anyway, so those are the initial pictures that I had seen. Once I have come to an agreement with the seller, typically what I'll do is, once we have an agreement, we have a signed contract, I will have my inspector go out. And this is, its inspection is a full-on like 41-page report. You can see my screen still. So it's a 41-page report. I won't go through all of them with you, but he does like a report summary that kind of gives me one of the things that I want to highlight here, which I can do. I need the little app here. So upon entering the home, the smell of dampness and mold was present. Recommend further evaluation and repair by a licensed professional. So that's not something that I can see based on the photos of the it's not something that I can see based on the photos that you just looked at. The mold wasn't something that was mentioned during our phone call initially with the seller. And, there were a lot of different areas where they're talking about mold is present on walls and baseboard in laundry and bathroom. Home appears to have a moisture problem, damp mold present and moisture stains present. Crawl space was wet. Dining room floor is soft and has damage under linoleum. Moisture under west bedroom window and laundry wall has caused delaminating to paneling. So sorry to read at you, but these are things that I would never have known looking at those pictures. Like even if I had my person do a walkthrough and whatnot prior, these are not always, like she's not a professional who is going out there. So that's why once we have it, we have the ability to assess all of these things. So that's one of the reasons why I always choose to go with an inspection, because stuff can come up that won't be obvious with photos or just like a preliminary walkthrough when we're doing the photos. So that is one of the steps. One of the other things that I wanted to show and share with you is like the progress that we take. So we went under contract, we started rehabbing the property. And so when it comes to managing contractors, one of the things that I do is I have my assistant go out weekly or every couple of days, depending on how I have things set up with that particular contractor, to take progress photos. So you can see where, here I had them take down a wall. So there's a bunch of just, debris. The contractor for this particular property was charging me per line item that was done. So every contractor will structure it a little bit differently. Some contractors will have line by line of what they'll do. They want 50% down or 30% down up to a certain amount. And then as they finish certain line items, then you pay them an extra 25% or an extra whatever percentage it is that you work out. For this particular contractor, it was as each line item was done. So, you can see that there's like a whole lot of just demo going on. We knocked down the wall that separated the old unit from the new unit. And another fun thing was after we bought it, it started raining a lot and the roof needed repair, which did show up on the inspection report. We were in the middle of ripping it off, and we put, I forget what it's called, but we put like this big plastic over the roof as they were working on it, and then it started raining, and then the wind blew it away. So there was a bunch of moisture that got into the house. So that is what you are seeing there. But anyway, so it's just progress. So I have it taken a look at. So this project has gone on for a couple of months now. It's nearing the end. But really one main thing that I wanted to focus on, you can kind of see the progression. But one of the things that I wanted to kind of point out is, these are the most recent set of photos that I have. And they're just a bunch of little things now. So it's really close to being done, what we call the punch list item. So I have, again, the walkthroughs, I have photos being taken, and I notice things like, oh, like the trim on this needs to be painted. The door looks dirty and needs to be painted or replaced. Hasn't been, and like when you open it, you can see that it's like cracked and splintered and stuff like that. And again, this is just for this particular one, I had her take photos of doors, but like if you look at the close-up of this, the painting, like it needs either caulk or it needs to be repainted. Like it looks like they didn't use paint tape when they used this, or when they painted this doorway, or that looks like that was caulk. So they need to go back in and touch up those areas because it looks really sloppy in my opinion. So you've got, just different photos and frames and things like that. And, these aren't the kind of pictures that my contractor's sending me. He's not sending me the photo where, oh, by the way, there's an entire side or entire edge of the door that has not been painted, right? So these are the punch list items, but, maybe he was planning on getting it to it later. I don't know. But this door trim looks like, again, it has not been painted yet, so it needs to be painted, it needs to be sanded, painted, etc. This one is missing the door trim, like completely missing the door trim, so the door trim needs to be added here. A lot of these photos are primarily doors, so let me go here. Let me scroll down. So like if we look at other things that aren't necessarily going to show up in the photos, the transition strip between the rooms are missing. So like, that's ugly, but that's not something that is going to be immediately obvious to me. Another thing is, again, a small area where like I would like for that paint to be touched up. And you've got like the bathtub area, obviously it needs to be cleaned before a tenant moves in. There's the like a vent that needs a cover. There's the electrical outlet here that needs a cover as well. It looks like paint. There needs some paint touch up needing done here. Oh, and another thing. And like if you look at the trim, it needs to be like quarter round needs to go down and or like remitered because that edge just looks really messy to me. Same thing here. And like, this is where zoom is fantastic. Like it just doesn't look like quality workmanship to me. The edges aren't mitered. It looks just dirty. Paint that needs to be touched up there. Let's see what else I see in here. So the rest of that looks okay. Another outlet that needs to be covered. Another floor transition that needs to be put in. It looks like another edge of a door that has not been painted yet. And then also if you look here, there's also, again, just, it looks sloppy. So just very small details, but those details add up. This closet door obviously needs to be hung. This particular strip of the door frame needs to be painted. This door needs to be repainted. This door doesn't match like the ceiling. So this is the kitchen. The paint where the ceiling meets the wall needs touched up, or to have like I don't know what the technical term is for it, but like a trim of some sort, which goes to show you don't have to be a professional contractor to invest. Oh, and then also like the handle for this door looks really old and original. So I'm replacing out all of that with stainless brushed nickel hardware. So if you look here, this paint needs to be retouched. There's a light fixture that's missing here. All of that paint / trim needs to be done. This cabinet is missing doors, and you can't, it's kind of hard to see it from, this angle. So on this particular one, the edge goes, or the, what do you call it? The countertop goes past this. So it either needs to be cut or just like a wood filler. So there isn't a hole when we install the oven that's in there. Obviously there's a vent hood that still needs to be installed here. Oh, and actually there's another thing that I remembered. Oh, this edge cap was put on. So other little details that might pop up, like you want to make sure that the end cap is on there. Let's see what else. So obviously they need to clear off. It's going to need to be deep cleaned before we do all of that. Touch up paint is a good chunk of what I'm seeing. Got that ceiling. That one looks like could just be a lighting, but possible paint touch-ups there. We decided not to re-drywall this property, and we just painted over the paneling. You can kind of see on the edge here of the photo where the door trim, or the door frame rather, needs to be painted. You could see like I don't know if that's specks of paint on the floor or drywall mud, but that needs to be cleaned. That looks like a paint, just spots of paint, splotch of paint. Another floor transition, some more paint touch-ups on the door trim. This is one that could be easy to miss potentially in photos. This edge right here needs to be like, it just looks sloppy and unfinished. So we need to add like an edge to that. I don't know what it's called, but it needs to not be exposed like that. Either the paint needs to be touched up, or it could just be dust from when we resanded the floors. Let me see what else. Yeah, floor transition needs to go in. This room looks okay. This room, so they refinished the floors and then they got it all dirty again. So it needs to be refinished. So you see the paint here. So the floors look okay, it needs to be cleaned. So there's a spot here where it looks like they missed some paint around like the bottom and the edges. So that needs to be touched up as well. We've got the door frame. Let's see what else. So we've already got the floor transition. This is the bathroom remodel, or the paint needs to be touched up over there. Floor transition here. Tub needs to be cleaned out because it's a brand new tub and dusted. So this one is missing the door trim entirely. Floor transition. This one is missing part of the door trim. Other photos. So this looks like it's missing. So you see how there's like a little bit, I think it's called part of the windowsill. This one is missing at the bottom. So that one needs to be added as well. So again, lots of little stuff, but it adds up. So I think there's an expression out there that says like, 80% of the work will get done. No, what is the expression? It's something to the effect of like the last 20% of the rehab is going to take like 80% of the time or something like that. And it's true because a bunch of these little things add up. Now, some of these things are things that could have been prevented, like if they had used paint tape more diligently, probably less touch-ups to be done with the ceilings and things like that. Door frame obviously needs to be put on here. If they had put, and this was, I put it on me because I didn't specify with them to put plastic down or put paper down so that they're not walking, so that they're not spreading dust all over brand new refinished floors. These doorknobs need to be changed out to be more updated. So anyway, lots of different things, but this is where, again, it's important to have, it's important for me, it's been essential for me to have a neutral third party on the ground to help me verify all of these things. When I first started, before I had staff locally in my market, I would ask a property manager to go out there. I would have an inspector go out there, a property manager, if it was a property that I was planning on. I can stop my screen share here. If it was a property, I would ask a property manager to go out there. If it was a property that I was planning on keeping as a rental, or I would ask the realtor to go out there if it was a property that I was planning on flipping. So it really just ranges. Or you could go on property or on websites like Thumbtack, TaskRabbit, and just hire, or go on Facebook or Craigslist or something like that and hire local random people to just go out and take photos for you and things like that. Because I learned it the hard way. If I didn't verify that it was done and it was done correctly, I have paid twice for stuff. So that was not a fun lesson for me. And why did I pay twice, in case it's not obvious for you? Because a contractor told me it was done. I trusted that it was done and I paid him. And then I came to find out that it was not done. So I got to pay for it a second time to actually have it done for real the second time. So, learn as we go, fun fact or pro tip. So make sure that you trust, but verify that the stuff was done before you pay the contractors for that. So anyhow, hope that was helpful for you. Learn from my mistakes. And hopefully that helps lessen your learning curve if you choose to go this path. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.